Hello YouTube, this is Keith Kevin Kent. How you doing? How you doing? It's time again for the knife of the day. This is the series where I go through my collection one knife at a time, one day at a time. We went through my entire Spyderco collection. When new Spydercos are released, I get them. I'm part of the Collectors Club, and we'll break in to our regularly scheduled program and make those new Spydercos the knife of the day. If you've missed the Spyderco collection, I have a playlist of every single knife we've done, close to 250 knives, so go check that out. Now what we're doing is we're going through my Chris Reeve knives, my Browse Blade knives, and my Microtech out the front automatics collection. I'm mixing and matching all of those. I've started with, when I get to the Chris Reeve knives, I started with their plain Jane knives. These are the Chris Reeve knives that are just pure titanium handles. As we go deeper into the collection, you'll see a lot of different variations on the Chris Reeve knives. This one, I was so thrilled when Chris Reeve introduced the Inkosi. Now, Inkosi is chief in Zulu. Now, they actually introduced the Inkosi with this knife, the small Inkosi. At that time, it was just the Inkosi. They didn't say they were going to release a larger one. I kept calling it my small Sabinza 25 because with the Sabinza 25, same profile but small. And the Sabinza 25 just hadn't had a small version. The Sabinza 21 has a small Sabinza 21. The 25 does not have a small one. So when it came out, they said that, research says people like smaller knives. I really like smaller knives. And that's why they were releasing it. Several months later, they released the large Inkosi and announced that the Inkosi line would replace the Sabinza 25s. So Sabinza 25s are discontinued, but you can find new Sabinza 25s all over the place. But they are no longer selling them from Chris Reeve knives. And I have said I do not, in the 58, 59 Chris Reeve knives that I don't have a large Inkosi because I have a bunch of Sabinza 25s. But I do have small Inkosis. This has become one of my favorite Chris Reeve knives because of the size of it. And now they're coming out with a lot of variations. And you'll see those as we go through this collection. It has everything you've come to expect from a Sabinza 25. There are a number of changes. So the difference between an Inkosi and a Sabinza 25. First, if it's small like this, you know you got a small Inkosi, right? Because Chris Reeve never made a small Sabinza 25. The other thing, just real quick, you flip it over to the lock side, and the clip is off of the lock bar. Most Sabinzas, actually all of them, have the clip straight. If you see a knife like this is a Sabinza 25, you turn it over and the clip is off the lock bar, you know you've got a large Inkosi. There's a lot of other changes as well. A larger pivot. They have real large washers inside. A lot larger. The two washers are a lot larger than usual on the Sabinza 25. Just a real nice upgrade. But what I like is I finally get a Sabinza 25 in a small profile. So let's talk about the Inkosi. The small Inkosi, what I still call the small Sabinza 25. I love this so much because after collecting Sabinzas for so long, to finally get a new knife based on an old model just thrilled me to death. This is a must-buy when I see a nice new variation. So, if you can look at it, it's a small part of a 25. S35 VN steel is what Chris Reeve Knives rocks with. Chris Reeve helped Crucible CPM work on S30V steel, and I believe S35VN as well. So most of his knives, if they're not Damascus, they do have the S35VN steel. Drop point blade, hollow ground. Again, just like the 25. I have a video of this plain Jane 25, so go check it out. But you can see the hump, how it comes up right there on the blade with the jimping, and then you have the notch right there as well. Everything is the same. Just a real nice knife in that small compact that I enjoy. Some people don't enjoy small knives. I get it. Some people do. I'm one of those that prefer them. 2.8 inches, really, it's smaller than 2.8 inches. Just under 2.8 inches. 6.5 inches total. Of course, you get the lanyard as well. You get that wonderful fit and finish. Double lugs. And boy, that titanium. I tell everyone, to me, the plain Jane is one of the most beautiful Sabinzas. And I'm going to show you some beautiful Sabinzas as we continue through this series. But man, still one of my favorites are the plain Janes. Just simple, hard-working knives. I like this size. I work in an office. I'm urban. I like the size. First of all, it's under the 3 inches for those of you where that matters. It doesn't where I live. But I love that it's a gentleman's folder that's really hardcore, that can really get the work done. Just really nice with those two forward choils on the handle, which used to signify Sabinza 25, now signifies the Inkosi. Of course, the Chris Reeve frame lock. This is so smooth. The Chris Reeve frame lock. The thing I like about a Chris Reeve collection, and some people say, man, you're crazy. I am. I think most collectors of things are, you just get obsessed with stuff. But I really love this. I love taking the lock off of the lock bar. Still that simple profile on the lock side. The beautiful profile on the show side. And of course, see-through construction. Just really, the pivot and these two to take off. And of course, Chris Reeve always includes the wrench, the oil, and a nice cloth as well. And every time you buy, and of course, the birth certificate. This, my friends, is the knife of the day. Yeah, it is what I call, in quotations, the small Sabinza 25, but this is really the small Inkosi. You won't see a large Inkosi in my collection, but you'll see a lot of small Inkosis because I love them so much. Just to give you a feel, here's a small Sabinza 25. The Inkosi is smaller than the small Sabinza 25, as you can see. Yeah, if you enjoy the small Sabinza 21, small Sabinza 21. If you enjoy a small Sabinza 21, I think you'll like the Inkosi. It's just a little bit smaller. And of course, there's a plain Jane 25. I talk about that in another video. That's it. That's the knife of the day. It's the small Inkosi, one of the newest knives to the Chris Reeve lineup, and I've been snatching a bunch of them like a little kid. I stayed up late night to get some limited versions of those, and you'll see those as we continue through. I'm going between Chris Reeve knives, Browse Blade knives, and Microtech automatics, three of my larger sub-collections within my knife collection after the Spydercos. And then as new Spydercos come, you guys know I love my Spydercos. They'll be on this channel too. You guys have a perfect day. take good care of yourselves, okay? So that you can be healthy for your family and loved ones. Have a perfect one. Keep those pockets full. Goodbye.